James Cooley Show. It's Your Life can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
Yeah! Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah!
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way. I know a lot of parents out there are like, oh, summer's getting ready to end. School gonna start back. Can you give me a couple more months? Oh, wow, I don't think you're getting a couple more months. But there's a couple of things that I think that you need to know. We got this absolutely fantastic guest on this show today. We're going to talk about some of the things to prevent. Okay, Michelle. Michelle, I know you're getting ready to get mad at me. Some of the things like washing your hands, cleaning up, doing all that. Preventing germs. I said it, Michelle. I said it. So you can get mad at me. Wow. We need to hear that right now because, just like I said, many of us only got like 2 weeks. Some of you guys might have 2.5 weeks.
Well, we're really excited to have this guest back on the show today to discuss the topic of back to school, not back to germs. He's been a frequent guest of It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And, at least I know the Atlanta schools, they started school today. And a lot of schools, are starting in the month of August. I know in the East Coast in New York, they're starting in September like we normally do. But, basically the kids are going back to school.
Well, they're going back to school. Yeah. And it's a lot of things that we need to know. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited to have this guest back. I don't think he's been on the show in about at least 4 months, and I kind of miss him. But we got him back today. Michelle, can you do the honors by introducing the title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this great guest? But I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching this on, whether it's E36 television, transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, and over 84 other live platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to have comments, ask anything that you might, all you have to go to the comments on the platform that you're watching this on. Ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Michelle, it's yours.
Yes, the title again of today's show is Back to School, Not Back to Germs. And we're welcoming back Troy Duell. He's a highly experienced health educator and the founder of Centurion Health. He's going to talk about boosts that immune system, the no-nonsense way, lifestyle tips, because adulting is hard enough. And consistency is the key. And he's going to talk about, supplements, vitamins, just things that, parents can do to help with this issue of kids going back to school and not bringing germs. So again, Troy Duell, highly experienced health educator and the founder of Centurion Health, a leading manufacturer of safe, effective, and affordable healthcare products. With over 10 years in the industry, he has dedicated himself to helping others lead healthier lives through his innovative research-backed approach. He believes that everyone should have access to quality healthcare and works hard to make sure this is achieved by providing people with evidence-based information on nutrition, exercise, lifestyle changes, and more. His commitment to improving public health has made him an invaluable asset in the field of health education. He was a professional soccer player, teacher, and coach before entering the pharmaceutical industry. He holds a BS from the University of Alabama and an MA from Regent University. Please welcome back to the show, Mr. Troy Duell. Yay!
Thanks for having me. Excited to be back. It's been a while.
I know.
How you doing, my friend? It's an absolute pleasure having you back. It's an absolute pleasure anytime that you come on the show because you educate our viewers, you teach them, you show them, and with evidence-based products, especially from what you and your company is doing. For the people that might have not seen you on the show before, can you tell them a little bit about you? What makes you click? Why are you so passionate about what you do? Why is health so important to everyone?
Yeah, I think it all goes back to really stewardship. You know, we're only given one body, we're only given one life and one opportunity. And I think what we need to be about is living the best life possible. And part of that goes into a lot of the things that you discuss and talk about on a daily basis, which is our spiritual health, our mental health, and then of course our physical health. And all those things combine for us to live the best life we possibly can. And health, if you don't have that, you miss out on a lot of the other things you can do. And there are little things that I'm a firm believer in that we need to do to really be good stewards of our health and be good stewards of what we're trying to do so we can give back the most to our families, to our communities, to our country even. And if we're in great health, we can do that in a much greater way than if we're not in good health. So that's kind of my driving force. One of the things that really drove me even more was during 9/11, watching some of those things go on and watching firefighters go up and save people on the 50th floor. One of the commentators was talking about it, and they mentioned specifically that there were a lot of people who were stuck up at the top because they couldn't make it all the way down because they weren't in good enough health to do it. And they put themselves at risk, but they also put firefighters and other community members at risk because they weren't in the best health possible. And that's my driving force is how can we become in better shape and better health so we don't have to rely on other people or government services to come save us.
Funny you mentioned that, and you probably haven't seen it just as much as I have. Firefighters, policemen, a lot of times they are not in the best shape.
That's very true.
Especially, I'm not picking on the police force, but they like to hang out at the donut stand.
that is true. That is very true. But it's unfortunately it's not much different than us. We have our things that we fall in line with, but you know, that's why I think we've got to learn how to rely on ourselves and help our families the most. Because if you're in a situation, you want to be able to be the one that can go help as opposed to be the one that needs to wait on help. And I think if we all have that mentality and mindset with our health, we'll be much better off. So that's my driving passion for what we do.
And just like you work out every day, so do I, because we want to be able to be in the best care, the best health possible.
That's right.
Not only just to take care of our family, but to also lend that helping hand if it's needed. You know,
absolutely.
So you talk about this, and I'm still trying to get my hands around it. Triple epidemic. Can you explain exactly what that is and why it's so important that our viewers and our listeners need to understand it?
Yeah, so the triple demic is what they're calling the merger of the flu, COVID, and RSV. And this year in towards the end of last year, they actually added an extra to make it a quaddemic. So they had 4 things in there, which was the norovirus. But it's really a season where all these viruses start to really show themselves. And we know that when school starts, that's one of the biggest times that we see all these viral infections really start to take off even in a bigger way. And then when it's a little colder outside, you see it as well, because we're usually around more people. We're in closed, confined spaces when it gets a little bit cooler. And especially with our kids, we know they're going to school, and typically these kids don't have, my kids included, and even myself, you're not washing your hands as often as you should. You're not thinking about things near as you should, because you're in a public setting and maybe you're talking to people and get sidetracked with conversations or whatever it may be. So the triple demic and the quaddemic are just 4 different viral infections that are out there that we become more susceptible to at certain times of the year. And this happens to be one of the big ones when school comes back in and they start to pick up the germs at school, they bring them home, and we've got to be very, very cognizant of those things and put yourself in the best health possible in order to overcome them.
So what would you recommend to the parents first? Because they have to be able to stay healthy in order to, I'm talking parents and teachers, of course.
Yeah.
In order to take care and educate and teach our kids that, good habits, good washing your hands, and all of these type of things. What's the recommendation?
The very number one thing you've already hit on, which is we've got to get in the habit of washing our hands, especially before we eat, after we go to the restroom. Anytime we're touching a lot of things, get in the habit of washing your hands. And that is probably the biggest thing you can do from the standpoint of prevention. The next things you need to do is really work on your diet and make sure that you're eating a healthy diet. So your fruits and vegetables, everything mom always told you to do growing up, you got to do that. And we continue to do that and stay away from those processed foods, the donuts you want to stay away from, unfortunately, and those desserts. But the third thing is exercise. So if you get your exercise right, you get your diet right, and you're washing your hands, you are well on your way to really overcoming and putting your body in the best light possible to overcome any viral infection that may come your way. And then go ahead.
No. We got to take a station break, but we got about 30 seconds. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and then there are other things that you can do from the standpoint of, if you're not feeling well, then do the community a service, do yourself a service, and stay home, get the rest you need, get the sleep you need, stay well hydrated. And those things in conjunction with the others really start to set yourself up to stay healthy and to keep other people from getting sick. So if you're not feeling well, stay at home and do the community a favor by not spreading those germs if you can.
Great advice. I take a station break, but I tell you, you already see where we're going with this. And especially about the point, if you're not feeling well, stay at home. Don't bring the sickness to others. If you want to be part of this great conversation that Troy and I are having, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching or something. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, but get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Dr. James, JC, Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, Troy is sharing things. As I mentioned earlier, back to school. California, I think, go back to school next week. Michelle and I will be there tomorrow. And we would probably be visiting a couple of schools next week. And it's so important that you all are listening to what Troy is talking about. He's been in the business for quite some time. He knows, and he's going to educate us on some of the things that we need to be paying attention to and being cognitive of for ourselves, the teachers, your children, your family. He mentioned something about the quad four. I want him to mention that again, because the last 4 years, you already know COVID and all these other different things and different viruses are combining, and we got to stay on top of that. But there's certain things that we can do, especially what Troy and his company do. Certain vitamins we can take, certain habits that we can develop. A lot of different things. So I want to pick it back up with that, Troy. Closed spaces, classrooms, environment, especially since school is starting back, as habit places for certain type of viruses. I mean, what can you talk about that a little bit, and what are some of the recommendations? I know you mentioned washing your hands. What are some of the things that you would recommend that, especially in the beginning, that we start taking into consideration?
Yeah, I think we've already discussed some of the background, which is diet, exercise. We've talked about the need to wash your hands. But then when you're in an area and you know that you're going to be around kids, especially, if you can, as a teacher, make sure that you're going in and wiping down a lot of the hard surfaces where the viral infection can actually live and stay for about 24 to 48 hours, depending on the virus itself. So you want to be sure that you're wiping down those areas, that you're keeping things clean, and that you're putting in the time around your surroundings to keep those things as nice and tidy as possible. If you see some kids who have a cough, or you have a cough, be sure to cough into your sleeve. Most of us have been trained to cough into our hands, but that's a great way for us to pass that on to somebody else, because if we cough into our hand, we have a bacterial or viral infection. We can shake somebody else's hand, and then they can touch their face or their mouth or their eyes, and then they can catch that themselves. So those are certainly ways that you can avoid some of that. And then you want to have certain supplements that we know during COVID really proved to be beneficial for basically anybody who's in good health, but especially people who may not be in the best of health, these things are going to help all of us because it's going to help boost your immune system. And we can get into that now or later, whatever you wanted to do with that.
Well, we certainly gonna get into it, but you mentioned a few things that are so important, like obesity, people not taking care of themselves, hypertension, diabetes, all of those type of things that is becoming an epidemic around the world. And can you talk about that a little bit right before we get off into the supplements?
Yeah. So one of the things that was a glaring issue during COVID were the comorbidities. The comorbidities you talk about are the diabetes, the high blood pressure, any other cardiovascular event that you may have. So anything that compromises your health a little bit more, we found that during COVID itself, 95% of the people who died from COVID died that had at least one comorbidity, but on average they had 4. So these were people who were not very healthy. Their body was not able to process this viral infection the way that it should. And the truth is, if those individuals had been given the flu, they probably would have responded the same way if we didn't treat them soon enough. Because a lot of times what we did within the medical community that I think was a big mistake, and we learned a lot from it, is we told people not to go to the doctor, not to go to the emergency room unless their oxygen saturation rates were below, I think it was 80% or 85%. And at that point, the viral infection has really started to take hold, and it becomes that much more difficult for us to treat those individuals. And I think if you avoid those comorbidities and you start to address them on an individual basis, and maybe it's high blood pressure that you have, start to address that particular comorbidity first and change your diet, start to increase your exercise, and reduce that hypertension level, the high blood pressure, to the point that you are at a regulated level. Then you can take on some of these viral infections and your body will respond much better. Then once you get that, you start moving towards diabetes or whatever it is if you've got multiple comorbidities. But it all starts with just find one, attack it, and really get everything in tune and in line. So then your body has the best chance possible when it comes up against bacteria or viral infections that none of us want, but will respond much better if we get that done.
Your teaching and your company do so much to provide the information and the supplements to help control a lot of these viruses before that. I wouldn't say before they happen, but before it gets worse than what it could be. Can you talk about some of those things?
Yeah. So what we found during COVID were there really 5 ingredients that seem to have a great effect on the body and really help overcome any viral or bacterial infection. We know that vitamin C is one of those that we've always heard and been told, be sure to drink your orange juice, eat your oranges, whatever. So we know that that is a crucial component in our diet that we need to have. We typically don't get enough, so we want to supplement with some vitamin C. Vitamin D, if you had low levels of vitamin D in your body, those individuals who had low levels fared worse when it came to, in studies, when it came to COVID or the flu or any other upper respiratory infection. So you need to have your vitamin D levels up. The third would be zinc. Zinc, we know from study after study, does an incredible job of going in and attacking that viral infection within our cells, and it actually destroys it, keeps it from replicating, which is typically what's going to happen to cause you to get even more sick. And then quercetin, I would say, is the fourth. That's one that is not as well known, but that whole adage of an apple a day keeps the doctor away, I really think that's where the idea of that saying came from, because apples are high in quercetin. The difference is you have to eat about 25 apples to get the amount of quercetin we really want each day in our body. So that's where supplementing comes in. And it works really in tandem with zinc. So it acts kind of like the bus. It puts zinc on the bus, drives it inside the cell, and then zinc's let off, and it does all the damage that it can to the virus or the bacteria that's in there. And then you want to make sure, the final one is to make sure you've got copper, because copper and zinc have this inverse relationship. The more zinc you have, it depletes your copper levels. And then if you have depleted copper levels, you've kind of defeated the purpose of taking these products for immune health. So you want to have a little bit of copper in there to make sure that you aren't depleting your copper levels as a whole.
So you mentioned a couple things like 25 apples.
Yeah,
that's a lot of apples. But for people, I'm gonna tell you, I take about 20 something supplements a day, maybe a little bit more than that, because I want to make sure that I get the right supplements in my system. A lot of them are your supplements. I love some, so for people that's sitting there wondering, oh, this is going to cost me a whole lot. What do I have in my house that I can eat or do, or that's going to give me some of those supplements that I might need? And then what supplements should I go out initially and buy?
Yeah. I think if you bought each of those individually, then that's a good place to start. Now, we have a product called Defender Immunity Boost that actually has all that in there. It's got the right amounts in it. So you don't have to do any of the guesswork. You can go onto our website at centurion.health and you can find it for Defender Immunity Boost. But if you want to do it strictly from a diet standpoint, like I mentioned on the quercetin side, you'd have to get about 25 apples. You can have salmon. You can increase your intake of oranges. So there are ways that we can do that. Onions also have a lot of quercetin in it. But it's the amount that you're trying to get that sometimes becomes financially unfeasible to be able to do, because it costs a lot of money to eat apples all the time, to eat oranges all the time, to eat salmon, and some of these other things that we talk about. So instead, that's why we developed a supplement that you could take that would have all of it in one, and you can go from there.
So where can people just listening right now, and we still got a lot more interviewing to go, where could they go and get your product? Can they only get it online? Can they get it in the stores? Can they?
Yeah, it is in some stores, typically around the Southeast, but you could also go to centurion.health and get it there. You can find it on Amazon. So it's really across all platforms that you can go to and find it out there, but it's called Defender Immunity Boost. You can go to centurion.health. So that's CENTURION.health, and you can find it there. I
normally get it off Amazon. It works tremendously well.
Yes.
And I tell you, for as this season for viruses, I have not, and I'm knocking on wood, have not had any major conditions. I'm talking about not even a cold. Little sniffles every now and then, but long as you're protecting your system, long as you got the right supplements, and long as you're eating right, long as you are not overdoing it. We mentioned donuts earlier. I can't remember the last time I had a donut.
That's good.
I'm afraid to eat one. Because Michelle and I, what we do is we challenge each other for working out, for as diet, for as a lot of things, because we want to be around for a while. And we want to be able
That's right.
to help others. And so it's important that people take from this message on certain things that they might want to do. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to talk about lifestyle changes, because sometimes it requires changes in our lifestyle in order for us to really understand of what it's going to take to be the best you that you can be. So I tell you what, you want to be part of this great conversation that we're having, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
The future is here.
Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible. Integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are. Grow in faith. And build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.viridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And I tell you, I'm sitting back just enjoying this discussion that I'm having with Troy. And we got a lot more we can ready to get into, but I want to talk to you all about this university called Regent Christian University. Wow. It's fantastic. I'm not just saying that because I'm the chancellor. I'm saying that is because we offer over 36+ degree programs, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and if you're doing above and beyond, we consider you for an honorary doctorate degree. We just finished up a graduation over in Dubai in April. We just did a graduation in Dallas 3 weeks ago. And most of these were graduations with people that are doing above and beyond. But we also have traditional courses that is fully accredited. Look us up. If you're looking for an opportunity to increase your education, regardless of what that is, look up VeridianChristianUniversity.com. If you are doing above and beyond, like my main man Troy here, we like to consider them for our honorary doctorate degree because they are making an impact on humanity. So VeridianChristianUniversity.com. Got that out the way, Troy. Let's get back. Man, you are making an impact. You are doing so many great things. What I want to talk about in this segment is the folks that are listening to us chat right now. A lot of times it requires a renewing of the mind. It requires a mindset change and change in lifestyle. If you want to live your best life, I'm not preaching nothing like that. From my health perspective, some of the things that we are doing in our lives, we have to change. We have to get more fiber in our system. We have to get more all of these things, and we have to be able to resist things that are not going to help us add years to our life and help us reach our goals. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, which is we do have to make changes to our lifestyle. And if we do that, I think it opens up an opportunity for us to live a much better and healthier life. And we've talked about those things, but a lot of people feel overwhelmed when you start talking about changing your life, your habits, the way you're doing things. But instead, we probably just need to step back and begin to take little baby steps that we can all grab a hold of. So one of the easiest things you can do is when you go out to eat, instead of getting those fries or something else on the side that maybe isn't all that healthy, start with just getting a side salad. Do little things like instead of taking an elevator or an escalator, if you can find the stairs, take the stairs, because those are just extra steps. It's helping your body become, more mobile and an opportunity for you to burn more calories when you may not necessarily be in a place where you can. So other things like going out and when you're circling, like we've all done it, where we've circled a parking lot 5 or 6 times trying to get the perfect parking space. Instead, just park a little further out as long as it's safe, and then walk in and get those extra steps. Those are just little things we can do. The old adage of how you eat an elephant is very, very true when it comes to health. And that's just one bite at a time, picking one thing and hold yourself to it. One thing that I have done that has helped me is a lot of times I will, if I'm feeling like I've overdone it, I will find one cheat day a week, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday, where you can eat what you want to, but throughout the week, you can always go, all right, I'm not going to eat it now because I know on Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to eat it then. And you can get your body and your mind wrapped around that, and it makes it a lot easier to get your health to where you want it to go.
Wow. So you just called me out because I like barbecue, but I only do it once a month. I mean, one day.
Yep.
That month.
Which is brilliant, because you're going to have it and you get it, but you're not doing it every day, or you're not tempted to have it so many other times, because you can go, all right, I know my day is coming up, and I'm going to have it then. And it makes it a lot easier.
It makes it a lot easier, but when you have someone, case in point, Michelle, right? Go to the gym every day. We already know our regiment. We already know how we eat. And you know what? Being brutally honest, my wife is so honest. If I start gaining weight, she don't say it. She just come over and just start patting me on the stomach or something. She
Good.
like, James, and it's like, okay,
Yep.
I know, and then I get mad a little bit, but then I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it at my own pace.
That's right.
And in about 2 weeks, I'm back now to normal. But a lot of times that it requires, at least in my opinion, somebody being brutally honest with you.
That's right.
Because we look at the mirror and we don't always see the reflection coming back. Or we eat and no one wants to be told what to eat or how, whatever that is. But sometimes we just need to push back and make sure that we get the right collagen. I'm talking about the greens and fruit, all that other type of stuff. That everything that we can consume naturally that we have in the house. But we also have to understand just what you're saying and what you are teaching and all the things that you're doing. Sometimes we have to set aside that money and go out and buy supplements to make sure that if we on a mission, that we want to stay healthy, if we want to lose weight, if we want our blood pressure to calm down and whatever that might mean, it requires us rethinking our situations that we are in. And I share that with you because I was on blood pressure medicine, Troy, for probably 15 years. And I had a doctor that was totally honest with me, told me, boom, 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 you ain't gonna make it if you continue to do this. I did what they asked me to do. I'm not on any blood pressure medicine right now. None of this, very little medicine. But I had to keep the weight down. I had to keep the focus. I had to keep a lot of these things. Well, I was on medicine for all of these years and borderline obese. Now, just by staying focused, wife look at you a little different, like they start smiling, all that sort of type of stuff. What are your thoughts on that? I know I'm talking to you.
No, I totally agree. I think there is a term out there that is pretty common these days: discipline equals freedom. And I think what you're talking about is that very thing. If you become disciplined and you create those habits, you can be free of a lot of those medications that we all have become accustomed to, or all push the easy button because it's easy to take those medications. But unfortunately, there are all those side effects that we don't want that typically come with them. And what we want to get to is get to a level in our health and in our lives where we are truly not relying on those things, and we're not going for the easy, but we're going for the hard, because there is freedom in those hard things. And if we can do that, I think we can feel much better about ourselves and what we're doing. And, the other thing to kind of piggyback on what you mentioned, the other thing that doesn't lie, one is our wives, but the second thing is the scale. So if you get on that scale every morning or every night, whatever time it is, that scale isn't going to lie to you. It's not going to tell you, hey, baby, you're looking great, when the scale is saying you just gained 5 to 10 pounds. So in the morning or the evening, whatever it is, always do it at the same time, because your weight does fluctuate throughout the day, and you just start keeping a mental notice of it. And if you see yourself creeping up, then change your habits, change what you're doing, change what you eat for the next 3, 4, 5 days until you drop back down and settle into it.
That is so true. And I tell you, I just got back from Africa, I think a week and a half ago, right? And the food over there, everything was great. I was afraid to get on the scale.
Yeah.
When I got back here, I didn't jump on the scale for like 4 days. And because I was thinking in my mind that I cheated over there, ate too much. But when I jumped on the scale and I had Michelle jump on the scale, man, I was down 4 pounds.
That's a good surprise. It's like finding $20 in your pants when you didn't know it was there. I mean, that's good when you can do that.
That's good. We're going to take a station break, but I don't want this to end. We're going to come back. If you want to be part of this great conversation, I'm telling my guys, you see, we just talking right now. If you want to be part of this discussion, all you have to do is go to the platforms you're watching us on. Asking the question that you might have, I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet one of my most favorite friends. Millions of you watch his show, and I know that you are dying of the next episode. Don't miss it out. It's coming from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, Africa. Watch his program, his show.
That's right.
Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Confidence. Commit with what? Confidence. In everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I tell you, Michelle is joining us. Michelle, we have been having such an amazing conversation. I got to invite you back again. You already know that, right? You know I got to do that because our work is not done here. We got about 8 minutes left in the show, but our work is not done here. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of back to school, certain things that need to be talked about at this particular time. Germs, prevention, vitamins, staying healthy. All of those things are so important. So, Troy, can you tell our audience again, if they cannot go out and get 30 or 40 different vitamins, what are the 5 or 6 top supplements that you would recommend them to get to go along with a good diet, stuff that they have in the house, and also the refocusing of the mind to not become obese or not become a lot of this thing, control your blood pressure or diabetes? What are the 5 top supplements would you recommend from your company?
Yeah, I would say from our company, if you're talking about that, you go with the Defender Immunity Boost or the Defender PM. The Defender Immunity Boost has all the supplements that we would recommend. So if you want to go out and get them on your own, it would be vitamin C, it would be vitamin D, zinc, copper, and quercetin. And if you have those on a daily basis and you're getting them at the right levels, then you are well on your way to supplementing your health and your immune health in order to make sure that your body can fight those things off. If you're doing all the other things in conjunction with it, which is getting the right amount of sleep, you're drinking plenty of water every day, staying hydrated, you're eating right, and you're exercising. If you do all those things, then you've created the best situation possible for you to stay healthy when all these viral and bacterial infections come across your plate, because we know that they will, because all of us, unless we're staying in our houses and not leaving and not doing a thing, you will encounter some type of infection out there during the next 6 to 8 months. And you want to make sure that you're primed and ready to go with those things.
You know what, Troy, well, the topic is back to school, not back to germs. So, we talked briefly before we went live about, the things that kids and younger kids do. What about the parents in the house? What are the things they need to do? Because you think about it, summer barbecues, inviting people over, outside, go to public pools.
Yes.
So it's not just maybe kids not putting fingers, touching things and putting their fingers in their mouth or on their face. It's also about public facilities that, unfortunately may carry some germs, especially like swimming pools, for instance.
Yep. And
so what are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. I think you're dead on that every scenario in public that we get into is going to have some risk. I mean, life is full of risk. And when you go out in public and you get out of bed in the morning, there is a risk that you're going to come across something that could affect our bodies. So what we can do as parents is really teach our kids some of those hygiene habits that we need to, which is don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose after you've been out in public before you wash your hands. So wash your hands, and then if you've got an itch in your eye, you can scratch it or use something to touch your eye, like a piece of clothing or something else, to help kind of eliminate the possibility of catching one of those infections. And that's the best thing you can do. And then if you're around food, be sure that you're cleaning the area and make sure that whoever has gone before you, if you're in a restaurant, make sure that it's a clean table. And if it's not, you could even carry some wipes with you, some Lysol wipes and one of those little handy things, and wipe off that table so you can help ensure that some of those germs don't get into our body and we can fight it off. So prevention, like Benjamin Franklin always said, he said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So that is so true when we're talking about our health, because if we can just take small steps to keep us from getting sick, we'll be so much better off.
Let's talk about Defender vitamins. Let's talk about what you to tell the audience about the vitamins, the supplements that your company wants to educate the audience about that. Can you just summarize some takeaways regarding these vitamins?
Yeah. So the big thing is, what we've done is we've gone out, we've put all these vitamins into one. So it makes it a little bit more convenient. You take 2 a day, and you can either take it in the morning and 1 at night. But the big thing to remember when you're taking anything, especially zinc, and it's above 25 milligrams, is you want to take it with food, because if you take it with an empty stomach, a lot of times it can cause people to get a little nauseous and not feel great. So you always take those things with food, and then understanding that when you're taking these products that we've put together, they're at the levels that we see in studies are actually beneficial, and at the frequency that you need to take it. So if you do that, you should be in good shape. But if not, you can find all those ingredients in separate places and put them together and make your own concoction. But I think the way we priced it, the way we put it together, it should be a little cheaper than you can go out and buy all those things separately.
And so, Troy, tell our viewers one more time. Michelle, I want you to order me 2 right now, today. Tell them one more time how they can get, especially the Defender.
Yeah. So the Defender, you can go on Amazon and look up Defender Immunity Boost, and that's a great place to do it. Or you can go to our website, which is centurion.health. So it's CENTURION.health, HEALTH. Had to think about that to make sure I spelled it right. But if you do that, you can go out there and find it on there. We've got lots of products, and you come to our website, and a lot of times we'll have different discounts and codes that you can use to help get those things even a little bit more affordable.
Troy, I want to thank you so much. And I tell you what, we got to have you back again real soon. So thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely sensational show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 84 different platforms, including AM 660 The Answer out of Dallas, the radio station, KCBQ, AM 1170 The Answer out of San Diego, Spotify, all of iHeartRadio, all of these things. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back. You can check us out Sunday on the radio. You can catch us Monday live. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see.
Doctor.